Okay, thanks very much, Ian. Apologies for a few technical problems during that interview there. We are now back under power. Let's have a look at the grid then for our final race of the day. This is a combined grid for the oldest cars we'll see today, the Orange Aero Pre-83 touring cars and the Pultec Pre-66 touring cars. It's not, for a change, an all-escort front row, as we often see in the Pre-83 touring cars, but it's a familiar face on pole. Number 1, Stephen Primet, the 10 times champion in his Ford Escort Mark 1. Just moving away for the green flag lap. He starts alongside the lovely little Datsun, the Datsun 510, number 85, Jonathan Corker. Second row, number 17, Will Davison with a BMW E30, and number 81, Mark Cholerton from Kings Lynn in his Ford Escort Mark II. Row 3, another Escort, the Mark 1 of Graham Smith, number 197, alongside Mark Osborne, the Welshman, number 49, in a Triumph Dolomite Sprint. Row 4, 31, it's the first of the Pre-66 cars, Canadian driver Peter Holford in his lovely Ford Mustang. Alongside him, 148 Don Hughes. We normally see him in a Peugeot 306 in the more modern categories. He's in a Mark 1 Golf GTI. Very nice indeed. Row 5 is the car carrying our onboard camera in this race, number 77, Alan Greenall. Seen him a few times before in his Ford Falcon Sprint in the Pre-66s, alongside 125 Jackson Goodrum in a BMW. Row 6, number 10, Jason Christie in a Mark 1 Escort, alongside number 13 of John McGurk. He's in a Lotus Cortina. Row 7, 74 Carl Shreve in a Dolly Sprint, and number 30 Steve Walden in a BMW. On row 8, 52 Billy Keneally, he's in the first of the Ford Anglias, alongside 223 Gary Townsend in his Lotus Cortina, former Mazda MX-5 racer among other things. Row 9, number 12 David Thomas, been racing his Ford Capri Mark 1 for many years. That's alongside number 21, that's the Davies family Mini, that's being driven by Mike Davies in this race. John Davies takes over tomorrow. Row 10, number 16 is Anton Martin in his Ford Escort, alongside 201 Pat Keneally, I believe he's Billy's father, in his Lotus Cortina. What a sight they make coming round on this green flag lap. Row 11, number 43 Malcolm Best in the red and white Capri, been racing that car for many years, alongside 126 Ken Britton, he's in a BMW E30. On the 12th row, 88 Mike Broadway in a BMW 2002, alongside 47 Nigel Cox, he's in a Lotus Cortina. Row 13, number 34, a newcomer to the club, that's Will Egby. He's in the ex-Freddie Brown Hillman Imp. Will is a YouTuber. Look up his name on YouTube to follow his racing exploits. He's in the Fraser Imp replica, alongside number 102, Ed Gibbs. He's in another of the Ford Anglias. Next on the grid, number 6, Michael Foley. He's in a Lotus Cortina. And we'll start alongside, I was going to say Luke Wilson, the reigning champion, number 11 in his Austin A40, but I can't see Luke's car there, unfortunately. He could be a non-starter. It's a shame. Penultimate row, 168 Keith Wright. He's in his Lotus Cortina. Down on the entry list as is Morris Minor, but he's brought the Cortina out instead. Alongside number 96, Jim Henshaw. He is in a Morris Minor. And the final row, 26 Steve Evans in the Austin A40 he shares with Brian Bedford. Steve Evans racing today, I think it's Brian tomorrow. And finally, Kevin Swan, number 539. He's in a Ford Anglia, the Anglia he shares with his son Jake. He missed qualifying this morning with some problems, but has been added to the back of the grid. We hope he's there, present and ready to start. Question is then, can anyone beat Stephen Primet? It doesn't happen all that often. Starting alongside Jonathan Corker in the little Datsun. But other than that, it's escorts galore at the front of the field pretty much. This will be a 20-minute race. Waiting for the cars to come up to the grid then. We must extend our best wishes as well to Stuart Kay, the chairman of the Classic Touring Car Racing Club. Hoped to make a return with his Ford Capri this weekend, sadly unable to race due to illness. So get well soon to Stuart. See you back out very soon indeed. Here they come up to the grid then. The white escorts of Stephen Primet, the man from Bedfordshire. Those marshals standing at the front with the yellow flags are certainly braver than I am. Watch for Mark Osborne. He likes to take the fight to the escorts in his Dolly Sprint. Pete Holford heading up the Pre-66s, sponsored by Pultec Classic Racing Engines. Big Ford Mustang. Pete Holford, the Canadian-born racer, been racing Mustangs for decades now. Got quite a collection of them. Back to the glory days of the late 70s, early 80s, and then going back to the 60s when the British Saloon Car Championship was in its infancy. Great to see a Morris Minor out there in the hands of Jim Henshaw. Okay, they're in position, waiting for the green flag at the back. There it is. This will be a 20-minute race, the only standing start of the day. Revs beginning to rise, the red lights will be on the gantry, and away they go. Down towards that first corner. A great launch by the BMW there through the middle of Will Davison. Looks like he's going to take the lead into Copse Corner for the first time. Indeed he is. Cracking start by Will Davison in the number 17. And he leads from Stephen Primet. Mark Osborne, a flying start as well. Look at the Triumph go up there in third place. Shades of Jerry Marshall. Arguably the greatest saloon car racer of all time, or certainly in my opinion. Everybody else away as they head up towards Maggots and Beckett's for the first time. It's Davison who leads, Primet in second, Osborne third, Jonathan Corker's Datsun is in fourth position. They swing their way through the complex for the first time. What a brilliant sight they make. Loving the Lotus Cortinas in there. 2-2-3 there, Gary Townsend. First saw him race several years ago in Formula One stock cars of all things. Down the straight then, it's Davison from Primet, Osborne. Here comes Pete Holford using the grunt of that Mustang, and Alan Greenall's well up as well, the two big V8 beasts. They'll be dominating the pre-66s in the early stages. Here's one of the Anglias, that's Billy Keneally in the number 52 car. The number 30 BMW up there on the outside is Steve Walden. Dave Thomas, Capri veteran in there too. Stephen Primet having a go for the lead as they come into club, but it's Davison who holds him off in the number 17, leading the pre-83s. There's Holford's yellow Mustang. Oh, Mark Osborne slowing. Mark Osborne's Triumph in trouble. That's a great shame after such a good start. He'll try and limp it back to the pits. But Stephen Primet ready to attack for the lead. They go into Abbey. He's on the inside line. Surely going to go through. In the background there we see Osborne pulling off into the Formula One pits. His race is run. Hopefully he can get the Triumph back out for tomorrow's race. There's the Mini of Mike Davies. Sadly, we've only got one Mini here this weekend. There's Will Egby and the Hillman Imp towards the back. Right at the tail of the field is Henshaw's Morris Minor. Everybody else heading through towards the end of the lap at the moment. Wait to see who leads as they complete the first lap of this 20-minute race. As the midfield coming through the loop. Jason Christie's escort we caught a glimpse of there. It's Primet who has got the lead from Davison. Stephen Primet looking for title number 11 this year. Incredible. Up towards Luffield they head. Car's looking fantastic in the sunset now the cloud is cleared. Now Jonathan Corker picked up a win at Brands Hatch last year in his little Datsun. Only one of its kind racing in the UK, and he's on the tail of Will Davison. These three have broken clear, but I think the safety car is coming out. Got a notification on the timing screen there. Yep, safety car. That might well be for Mark Osborne's stranded car, unless we've lost anybody else on the opening lap. We'll wait and see. Mark Chollerton there in fourth place. The first three had broken away. This will close things up again. Mark Chollerton in fourth. Holford fifth ahead of Greenall. They lead the pre-66 split. Then we've got Carl Shreve's Triumph. That's going well. Jason Christie. Don Hughes. Great to see him back in a Golf. I seem to remember back in the 90s, Don Hughes used to race in the old Blue Coral Super Road Saloons in a Mark 1 Golf. Alongside the likes of Paul Rose and company. Back out in a Golf. We normally see him in his Peugeot 306. Had some problems with that last year. There's the yellow Golf. Graham Smith's escort behind him. And then we've got Jackson Goodrum in his BMW E30. Then the first of the Lotus Cortinas, which is Gary Townsend. 47 of Nigel Cox was the class champion in that division last year.
I think there's every chance that because the Dolomite sprint is being towed at some speed up the Hamilton Straight by the recovery vehicle, that will be well clear on track by the time the leaders get down here. And I'm sure the clerk is also doing the phone to the safety car to say just back it up a little bit. We don't want another safety car. We'll know if they get to go racing when the lights go out on the safety car, which will start to come from the bridge on the way to the straight. Still at the moment. They're just exactly the good news. Yeah, so that's great work from the marshals down there. They're pulling it all up. We'll be racing
Oh, we're back underway here at Silverstone, apologies there. And Will Davison has retaken the lead on the restart there after the safety car to recover Mark Osborne's Triumph Dolomite sprint. Saw Jonathan Corker slowing down the Hanger Straight as well. Looks like problems for the little Datsun, which is a great shame because he was up there challenging for a podium place. Pick up the race order as they come round to complete their next lap. Battling all the way down the midfield here, very busy indeed. Let's see whether Corker has got going again. There's the pre-66 leaders. There's Corker. Yes, he is still going, just in there behind Jason Christie. It's Will Davison's BMW back in the lead then, the number 17, the former junior saloon car start. But he's under pressure now from Stephen Primet as they head up the Wellington Straight. He's in the slipstream. He's surely going to go through as they come under the bridge towards Brooklands. He's got the inside line away. Escort against BMW, and once again the Escort wins out. Just no stopping Stephen Primet in this championship for so many years now. Already well clear of the rest of the pack, continuing to scrap for third place. I wonder if we'll see those big V8s come through to challenge Mark Chollerton, who's currently in a rather lonely third position. Over the line they go to complete their third lap, the two leaders together. Chollerton in third, they're well ahead of everybody else. I think Jonathan Corker slowing on the straight slowed the pack up. Yeah, Holford's up to fourth and Greenall fifth, the grunt of the V8's telling there. Corker is still there in sixth, stayed ahead of Jason Christie. Then Carl Shreve, Graham Smith and Jackson Goodrum's BMW rounding out the top 10. It's the one retirement so far, that was Osborne. The leaders swing their way through. Beckett's got just under 10 minutes to go, so we're just over halfway through. Down towards the Hanger Straight for the fourth time. There's Pete Holford, sliding the Mustang coming out of Chapel. Corker's got back ahead of Greenall. You can see here the more nimble Datsun, better in the twisties. But on the straights, Greenall just blasts past the Datsun as if it's standing still. Let's go on board with Alan Greenall. Not the easiest thing to handle, this massive Ford Falcon. Big twitch there as he comes out towards Vale. He's won several class championships, has been an overall champion as well. In the pre-66 touring cars. Running wide there, Carl Shreve under fire from Graham Smith. And Jackson Goodrum, then the Lotus Cortinas, and then it's Don Hughes. Back on board with Greenall up towards Abbey. Have to be so careful, especially in slightly slippery conditions in a big beast like this. Peter Holford still ahead of Jonathan Corker in front of us. There's Graham Smith, the yellow escort up the inside, attacking Carl Shreve. Still Stephen Primet up front. Here he comes into the sunset. Not exactly clearing off into the sunset. Will Davison sticking with him. They're in the same class, these two, Class C. We haven't really had time to go through the subclasses in today's events. Pete Holford leading pre-66 Class A. Class F for the Lotus Cortinas, led by Gary Townsend. Pre-83 Class D is being led by Don Hughes in the Golf. Pre-66 Class C by Billy Keneally's Ford Anglia. He's going well. Oh, a spin there, talking of Ford Anglias. Whoop, that was close. Will Egby just missing the spinning car of 102 Ed Gibbs. That could have been disaster. It's Will Egby's first ever race. He's only a young gun in the ex-Freddie Brown Imp. That was nearly a Code Brown moment. That was close. Still Will Davison not letting Stephen Primet get away. 7.5 minutes to go. Circuit has now dried out again. There's the Lotus Cortinas now behind Don Hughes in the Golf. Dave Thomas there in the Capri. Been racing that car for more years than I can remember now. Up towards Maggotts he goes. He's currently in 14th place. Lotus Cortina battle now headed by John McGurk, number 13. Sliding his Cortina around, chased by Gary Townsend, number 223. Came from the short ovals into Mazda MX-5 racing, was a class champion there. Major sponsor of motorsport through his vehicle hire business as well. Back on board with Alan Greenall. Scrapping it out into Stowe. You can see the car ahead twitching around there, just through the sunlight. That's Jonathan Corker. He's battling it out with Peter Holford in the Mustang, and round the outside Graham Smith on the brakes, sliding the Escort into club, and he's got the place. Now that's quite a rare passing move at Silverstone, round the outside into club. Very experienced Graham Smith, impressively pulling that off. Primet still leads. In fact, Pete Holford has dropped back. We see there Jason Christie up with him now. So he's dropped behind Corker for 4th place. Holford 5th. Christie has slipped through almost unnoticed there into 6th place. Leaders up under the bridge once again towards Brooklands. See them disappear behind the one of the many grandstands here at Silverstone, home of the British Grand Prix, the British MotoGP. Stephen Primet slides the Escort through. Looking for title number 11 this year. It's going perfectly for him in this first race of the season, though he didn't have things all his own way off the line, with Will Davison able to outpace him. Mark 1 Escorts. More famous, of course, as a rally car. It has won the British Saloon Car title. Smoke there from Kevin Swan in his Anglia. Now, we saw him have problems in qualifying. He didn't set a time, had to start from the back of the grid. He's chasing Anton Martin in the Escort. They're both ex-Bangor racers, those two, but hopefully we won't see any contact from them here. Dave Thomas on the tail of the Lotus Cortina of Gary Townsend. There's Greenall ahead of Carl Shreve. Tom McGurk ahead of them. Now here's Pete Holford. He's dropped back a little, but he's still leading the pre-66 split ahead of Alan Greenall, who's third in pre-66. John McGurk in the Cortina. Carl Shreve almost pushing Alan Greenall there. Got the handling advantage of the Dolomite. Car that Andy Rouse had some of his earliest successes in, one of Britain's greatest ever touring car drivers. And as soon as they get to a straight, the right foot goes down from Alan Greenall, and it's goodbye to his opposition until they reach the next corner. There's Peter Holford in the number 3 and 1. Numbers reminiscent of Dale Earnhardt on the side of that car, the great NASCAR driver. There's Jonathan Corker on his own in 4th place in the little Datsun. Fastest lap of the race has been done by Corker, in fact 2:35.475 last time around. Lead gap is just over a second, and they're 2 3/4 seconds clear of Mark Chollerton. And here comes Will Davison up on the outside into Village. Stephen Primett's lead is under threat here. It's a good drive by the BMW. Will Davison goes to the outside again. He's trying to cut in on the exit and get a run down the straight towards Brooklands. Here we go, out of the loop. Can Will Davison do it? There'll be, I think, 2 laps to go this time. Just about. We'll wait and see as they cross the line how long's left. 3 minutes as they go into Brooklands. Davison looking determined here. He'll see the last lap signal. If it's this time or next time, that'll be his signal to launch an all-out attack. Towards the line, it's going to be borderline whether this is the last lap or not. And Davison, if anything's dropped back a little there coming out of Woodcote. Didn't see a last lap board, so I think we have got 2 to go. Davison may have missed a gear there coming out of Woodcote. He has dropped away a little. He's dropped back quite a lot there coming through. He's gone wide coming through Copse Corner and kicks up some of the rubber marbles on the outside. I wonder if there was a problem with the BMW there, but no, he's still there. Just lost a couple of car lengths. I think he missed a gear coming out of Woodcote, and that's lost him some momentum. He's back on it there, really on it through the exit of Beckett's. It's good stuff. Somebody has hit problems. You can just see a bonnet there at Abbey. Can't see who it is. Alan Greenall's dropped back. He's had a moment somewhere. He's down to 11th. Here's Holford, still leads the pre-66s, ahead of Christie. As the sun sets here at Silverstone. Graham Smith behind them. As for the inside, in the background, there's Carl Shreve. The car being wheeled away. It looks like it's a Lotus Cortina, I can tell you that. I think it might be Nigel Cox. Yeah, he hasn't come through, the number 47 on that last lap. So he's out of the race. Pete Holford swings the Mustang through club. Graham Smith's got past Christie as well. Here's Gary Townsend. And here's the lead battle, and Davison's through. Davison leads. Where did that come from? Coming through the infield section. There's 50 seconds left on the clock. Now, will we see a checkered flag this time or not? We'll have to wait and see how much time is left as they make it down to the end of this lap. I didn't see a last lap board. Primett's not finished yet. Here he comes. This could be the finish of the weekend so far. Primett up the inside, down towards Brooklands. He's got the inside line for the left-hander at Brooklands. Here comes Stephen Primett on the brakes. There's nothing between them into the left-hander. Davison's trying to hang on. The next corner's the right-hander at Luffield, but no, Primett's got the overlap and he's got the lead. Now, is it going to be checkered flag this time, or are we going to do one more lap? Stephen Primett will want to see the checkered flag and start his quest for an 11th title with the win. Davison all over it. This is cracking stuff. Is Primett going to take the flag, or are we going to see one more lap this time? Over the line they come. I don't think the flag has gone out. No, it hasn't. They've got one more lap to do. That's the last thing Primett wanted. And Mark Chollerton's been caught for third by Jonathan Corker as well. 2 battles to the end of this race. Can Will Davison upset the 10-time champion? The BMW is in the slipstream there. It took him a half a lap or so to get his momentum back, and out of nowhere he took the lead. There's back markers to worry about as well. We've got Jim Henshaw's Morris Minor and also Keith Wright in his Cortina ahead of them here. Lappery is quite rare on this circuit given its length. Shows how quickly these two are going. Steve Evans, Austin A40 there as well. Down the straight they come. Back marker's going to have to look out here in the background. Look, Corker's got third place, Cholerton alongside him. It's all about these two leaders. What can Will Davison do? Through Stowe. Here's a battle further back. Jason Christie and Graham Smith. It's all about battling escorts in this one. This is the fight for fifth. Behind them, Pete Holford leads the pre-66s. Here are the leaders, and they're in back marker traffic coming through club. Davison is forced to go to the outside by Privet. Oh, they've nearly clipped Steve Evans there, and Keith Wright. Look out, back markers. Oh my goodness. They've got to find a way through somehow. Davison was delayed a bit there. Lucky there wasn't a collision there. They did very well to thread the eye of the needle coming through club. And has that lost Davidson his chance? You see he's dropped back about 3 or 4 lengths as a result of that. Those behind are sensible. They've got their lights on to let the back markers know they're there. Cholerton and Corker. A corker of a race this has been as well. The race of the weekend so far, in my opinion. Primet, a little bit of a slide there coming into the loop. Is he going to hang on? He's usually got the advantage down the straight into Brooklands. I can't see Davison doing it from here. Corker's done another fastest lap, incidentally, 2:34.517. It's all about these two for the victory. I don't think Will Davison's going to do it. I think Stephen Primet has got this sewn up. Here they come, lapping Michael Foley's Lotus Cortina. Into Brooklands for the last time. Davison trying, but he's not going to get close enough. And the undisputed master of the Orange Aero Pre-83 Touring Car Championship is going to start his quest for yet another title, an 11th title, with the victory. Great effort by Will Davison, but it is a win for Stephen Primet. Takes the checkered flag. Second goes to Will Davison. And who's going to be third? Where's the battle between the Datsun and the Escort? The Datsun's got it. Jonathan Corker just ahead of Mark Cholerton by 0.6 of a second. The winning margin, 0.7 of a second. Now, who's going to be fifth? Where's those other two squabbling Escorts? Christie and Smith. Here they are, and it's Graham Smith in the yellow Escort is going to take fifth position. Brilliant. All those drivers in the same class as well. Pete Holford wins the Pre-66s. He slides across the line. Eighth goes to Don Hughes. He wins his class in the Golf. And look at this, Alan Greenall is nearly shoving Jackson Goodrum over the line. He's back in the pack. He'll take second of the Pre-66 split, though, and third will be John McGurk just behind him in the Cortina. What a cracker to finish with. And that's just day one. We kick off at 9 AM tomorrow, the first race, which will be the Prototype Cup. First ever Brick Car Prototype Cup race. There's Mount Best ahead of Mike Davies, the only Mini here this weekend, sadly. Normally see a few of them, the likes of Barry Syme with his Scottish Blue Mini, but not out this weekend, unfortunately. And there is our Pre-66 winner. Well done, Pete Holford in the big Mustang. But the overall win yet again goes to Stephen Primet. Rarely beaten here at Silverstone. He did have a shunt here a couple of years ago on the international layout, which curtailed his season 2020, but no such problem since then. Oh, we've got a car in the gravel. Who's that? It's another Lotus Cortina. It's Pat Keneally, number 201. Last car in should be our newcomer Will Egby. Look forward to following his exploits on YouTube. There he is. The youngster comes home to complete the race in 23rd place. Primet takes the win then ahead of Davison. And Pat Keneally is going to need a JCB. That's Beckett's he's spun out. You can find all the official results from today's events confirmed on the BARC website and also at tsl-timing.com, the website of our official timekeepers. That concludes day one here at the Silverstone Grand Prix circuit, our season opener on BARC TV. So the win goes to Stephen Primmett by 0.7 of a second ahead of Will Davis. A great fight between those two. Jonathan Corker in third, 0.6 of a second ahead of Mark Chollerton. Fifth place for Graham Smith ahead of Jason Christie. Seventh went to Pete Holford, he won the Pre-66 split. Eighth for Don Hughes, he won his class, as did a few more further down we'll get to in a moment. Ninth for Carl Shreve, Jackson Goodrum 10th, just ahead of Alan Greenall. Class win for John McGurk in 12th. Dave Thomas won his class in 13th, as did Billy Keneally in the Anglia in 14th. 15th was Gary Townsend, then Steve Walden, Malcolm Best. 18th place was Mike Davies, he took a class win in his Mini. Then it was Broadway, Bridden, Anton Martin, Ed Gibbs, Will Egby, Michael Foley, Keith Wright, Henshaw and Evans completed the finishes. We lost Pat Keneally on the final lap. Nigel Cox we saw out of the race. Kevin Swan, a reoccurrence of his problems from qualifying, retired as well. And of course we lost Mark Osborne on the opening lap. Watch out for fireworks tomorrow if he's starting from the rear of the field. Just a reminder as well that overnight the clocks go forward as well ahead of tomorrow's stream. Just a reminder to you. But I think we can shortly hand down to the pits with Ian to hear from the drivers.
To Park from a familiar face, of course, Stephen Primmett picking up the win. More from him very, very soon. He won the Pre-83s. Let's go have a quick chat with Mr. Holford, though, who won the Pre-66s. It's always good to have a chin wag. Well, I tell you what, I can feel the heat coming off there as well. The heat off the winner, the heat off the victor. There we go, glasses off, helmet off. Whilst he's doing that, actually, let's just have a quick word here with Mr. Corker, who actually got the fastest lap of the race.
Did I? Oh, must have been one of the laps I had fourth gear.
Oh no, problems with the gearbox.
Yeah, you'll see from the in-car, I guess, but yeah. I lost fifth gear eventually and fourth occasionally.
Was there a bit of nerves when you sat in the assembly earlier and there was a bit of rain?
No, not really. No. I was more nervous about the gearbox because I knew it was going to be a problem. Well, that's enough racing driver excuses, isn't it?
Let's get the book out. Well done anyway. Congratulations. Here is Mr. Holford. A nice race out there.
Yeah, busy. All those escorts hanging around.
Yeah. But you're matching it with them though, and this is a real crowd pleaser, isn't it?
Well, I think so. I'd be better if I had the same tires as they did, but you know, it's a good spectacle when it's sliding around a lot.
There's always tomorrow as well. Well done, congratulations. Let's go up here a little bit. We want to have a quick chat with Mr. Primmett. Of course we do. Stephen Primmett. I feel like we do this a lot, don't we? Congratulations. How was it?
Yeah, good to see you, mate. Yeah, it was really exciting.
Yeah,
really exciting. Hard work.
Of course, the last race of the day, we know the track's been rubbered in quite nicely now, so plenty of grip out there. But was there a few nervous moments because it looked like the weather might put a bit of a kibosh on it?
It was a bit damp at Stowe, but that after a couple of laps that seemed back to normal. But I was making some mistakes down the bottom there around club and that, and Will was capitalising on me every time. And Yeah, I had to try and clean it up. Come on, Steve, clean it up, clean it up.
Now, over the winter, of course, some people do a lot of work on the cars, but you need to probably do a lot of work and building a new trophy cabinet. How many trophies you got now? Hundreds.
Yeah, hundreds, yeah. That's probably quite true.
Are we going to see, we could be doing a lot more of this throughout the year, I imagine, Stephen?
Yeah, I can't imagine 25 minutes tomorrow. I'm going to pass out, I think.
You'll be fine. Well done. Congratulations. There you go, Stephen Primmett. Mr. Holford as well, picking up the win. A lot more racing action coming up for you tomorrow as well. So I'll take you back to Dave Goddard, who'll tell you what is going to be coming up. Thanks for watching today. Bye-bye.